Hi, everybody. I'm Corione, your witch in residence here on YouTube. So, it's the holiday time, and we all have our favorite movies around the holidays. And one of my favorite is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You know the one, the Griswolds are home for the holidays and draining an entire nuclear reactor to light their house. Now, before we get too deep into it, I do want to say thank you all for the initial round of voting. We're going to find out on the 5th whether I've made it through this round. So, everybody, hang on to your butts and let's hope we get through this. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you guys took notice of me. Please consider subscribing. I do a new video every week, and I have a show every other Thursday on the live stream. And for my channel members, I do all kinds of fun, unique projects. I'm going to be going through the religions of the world. And I think the next one we're going to cover, given Hanukkah starting up, is probably Judaism. So keep that in mind. Now, with that obligatory ritual over, let's get into National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Now, I am a sucker for the holidays. Okay. My family was raised Christian, so I was raised with Christmas. And, I friggin' love it. I love the activities. I love putting up the tree, which, taking a tree in from the outdoors and putting it in your house and decorating it is witchcraft, but, we try not to tell the Christians. Anyway, um, I love decorating the tree. I love going sledding. I don't have the kind of like organic super lubricant that was used in the movie, but I'd be willing to try it for that kind of speed. Maybe just get a little more padding on my rear end when I do it though. And I've never lit my house so that it would blot out the sun with its grandeur, but I've considered it, right? I actually had a neighbor when I was growing up that he worked for Noma, and he would cover his house in all sorts of lights and decorations and little animatronic pieces. It was really beautiful, and I loved going by it every year. But you know what I loved more? And you know what this movie symbolizes best? Is family, right? Now, I'm going to make this clear right from the get go. I am not saying family needs to be related to you by blood, okay? Um, for years, my wife and I put on what we lovingly called the Orphan's Christmas. See, I was the closest home to my work. So anybody who had to work Christmas, I would give them my info so that they could come over and get a Christmas meal with us while they were on their break and then head back to work if they needed to. And that was how we, saw our family, is the people that we cared about most and that cared about us. And when you do that, when you extend the nature of family to beyond blood, you realize how wonderful the people you have around you are. And sometimes that's the most important thing, is being able to say to somebody else, look, you may not be related by blood, but you are my brother. And I wouldn't dream of having a holiday without you. So that's what we do, is we invite all family, blood or by choice, to join us for the holiday. Mostly because it's wonderful to not be on your own. It's wonderful to fill your house with cheer and friendship and the people that matter to you. And sometimes a little bit of eggnog and more than a little bit of Bailey's. But the idea is that your family will care about you and will do what they need to do to make you happy, and you make them happy, and you do so not because you're seeking to do that, but simply because it's the right thing to do. Okay? We all make those choices based on whether it's the right thing to do. It just feels right to us. Okay? The whole idea of gift giving is not because you're expecting something back, but because this person is this wonderful part of your life and you want them to know it. So when, the uncle brings the boss in for the Papa Griswold here to deal with and to settle his hash, he's really just trying to show how much he loves his brother, right? He's trying to show how much he cares and how he wanted to do right by him. And that may be one of the most important pieces of that whole movie. Not because, I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, who does a cheese of the month club anyway? But because because it matters so much to the other person, right? Because we see it and we think it'll make them happy, right? Um I've got a bit of a story here. I I have talked about my brother Tony, my brother from another mother. And his birthday was, always filled with his favorite thing, which were skulls. Okay. It had to be anatomically correct human skulls. And one of the years, I happened to be working for the computer side of a big retail chain, and they had their Halloween decorations on clearance for the staff. So I picked up probably, I think, about 40 skull candle holders for him. And he got a bunch of them for Christmas, and he couldn't have been happier. Um, and even years where he was feeling kind of down on himself, and I didn't have a huge amount of money some years, I made sure to get him a box of turtles because they were his favorite chocolate, and it meant something to him. Gift giving is not about showing how splendid you are or how much you have or how much the other person has. It's about meaning, okay? My general rule of thumb has always been if you're going to give a gift to somebody, it has to have meaning, okay? Meaning to the friendship or the relationship you have with that person. It doesn't have to be something big, right? Um, Although, I always make sure to get the wife jewelry at the very least. But it does have to be something meaningful, and it does have to come from the heart, and it should always show that you care, because these people are your family. These people would do the same for you and try to and take care of you when you stumble and you fall and you need the hand up. These are the people you rely on, and showing them how much you care, showing them how much they mean in your life, not in a monetary way, but in a I am thinking of you, and this represents the thought I am putting into my relationship with you, right? I don't take you for granted. That matters, okay? And that is possibly the best lesson you can take from Christmas Vacation is every time one of the people makes an obvious gesture, a show of look at how much money I have or look at how powerful or well I have it, it turns out by comedy. But every time something is meaningful and from the heart, it turns out wonderfully. And that's the lesson to take away is to, regardless of what holiday you're celebrating now, and I think there's something like 25 over the next month, what matters is you show that what you're doing is from the heart. What you're doing shows you care, and that you have a fellowship and a love for the people around you. Okay? So let's go forward and do that. All right? We don't have to make grand gestures. We don't have to make gestures that are there to show your own opulence or your own wealth. We have to show events and gestures that show just how much you care, right? That show, hey, I get you, and I saw this and I thought of you, okay? Or I saw this, or I came up with this idea and I made it for you, okay? We do this because we want to show how much we care, how much we love, and how much we are grateful for this person to be in our lives. So let's do that this year, okay? Let's make it meaningful. Let's make it special. I don't want anyone to, in the comments, spoil the gift they're getting for somebody. But in the comments, why don't we talk about a gift that we got that meant a lot from the person we got it from. Um, I'm actually going to go for one that I got, and it was actually from my daughter, believe it or not. Now, you have to understand that when I was a kid, I wasn't really allowed stuffies for various reasons, stuffed animals. Um, but my daughter loves going to the zoo with me. We have the Toronto Zoo near where we live, and I love watching the otters. It's one of my favorite things to do is just watch them run around and play and be amazingly goofy creatures. I think if I ever had the money, I would probably open an otter preserve or something like that. And my daughter got me a stuffed otter for Christmas, and I thought this was the most wonderful thing because she saw how much I loved otters and she saw how much it meant to me. And even though I wasn't really a stuffy person and she, doesn't understand why, she knew that the otter would mean something to me, and that's why she got it. And I hope you guys have stories like that too, and I'd love to see them in the comments. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll close this off. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.